Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Malamed Shlita. We come to an end of a week, short week here for us, but another week of learning. As we head into Shabbos, Parshas Bechukosai, we finish Sefer Vayikra, Chazak, V'nis Chazek, and for those of us here, particularly in the New Jersey and New York area, this coming Sunday we have our Salute to Israel parade, and we urge everyone in the audience to please make every effort now more than ever, this year more than other years, to make every effort to attend and show your support for Israel on the streets of Manhattan. But we continue learning, davening for Chalei Tzvagana Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol Petzui Yisrael, safe return of our hostages, and Le'ilei Nishmat Seren Daniel Shevam and Rav Doron Vasheli Hashem Yikom Damo. We discussed yesterday about tearing nowadays in the cities of Jerusalem. The question is what about other places? So we talked about the Arei Yehuda, but now what about Jerusalem? So, Lifnei Milchema Sheshes Yamim, Keshemerkaza Shel Yerushalayim Hayadayin Tachas Shilton Yardeni. So before the 6-day war, when the center of Jerusalem was under Jordanian rule, Haisa mitzvah lekra gam b'shas sharon es Yerushalayim ha'atika. So there was a mitzvah to tear, even when you saw the old city. V'gam b'shas sharon es makam beis hamikdash, and also when you saw the place of the Beis Hamikdash. So we know stories of people, they would go to places like Har Tzofim, which, of course, the great battle of Ammunition Hill that took place there, but from Har Tzofim, which has actually the word lookout, but you could see the old city of Jerusalem from there, and that's as close as people could get, or other places. And then in those days, before 1967, you would have to tear Kriya. But now, after the 6-day war, in which we have miraculously, with the kindness of God, been able to free and unite all of Jerusalem. So a new question comes up. Do we still have to tear, because is Yerushalayim considered destroyed or not? Rav Nebenzahl, Rabbi Shal Ir Atika, Rav Nebenzahl, Shalom be well, he's an unbelievable figure, but he's the rabbi of the old city. Masali b'shem Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach Zatzal. So he said, Rav Nebenzahl, this is Rav Malamed said, Rav Nebenzahl told me in the name of Rav Shlomo Zalman, she'amna me'az hakamas Medinas Yisrael ein l'kral Arei Yehuda shetachas shelton Yisrael ulam Yerushalayim gam l'achar melchames sheshes yamim tzarich lahamshich l'kroa mnei shekedusha sol le'inyan ma'aser shenu v'kodshim kalam adayin laba alidei bitoy. So he calls it, he quotes it, actually it's found in the Mincha Shlomo, the Shalos and Shuvas of Rav Shlomo Zalman. He says that even though we have the Medina, and since 1948 we don't have to tear, as we said yesterday, for the cities of Jerusalem, but when you see Jerusalem, even after the 6-day war, you still have to continue to tear for Jerusalem, because it still doesn't have the sanctity as far as Ma'aser Sheni and certain Kachim aspects. Aval, Maran Harav Tzvi Yehuda Kohen Kook Zatzal, Hayir Ragil Hadgish, Shemeis Mechamesh Sheshes Yamim Nishtan Hadin. Rav Tzvi Yehuda Kohen Kook says that since the time of the 6-day war, he says the din has changed. Because since we said yesterday from the Beis Yosef that everything depends on who's in control, and after we have now freed Jerusalem from the Jordanians and foreign rule, we don't have to tear on it. And he says furthermore that if we would start tearing, then it would seem like we are kafoi tova, that we are denying or rejecting the good that Hashem has done for us by giving us Yerushalayim back, and it's sort of counterintuitive. Instead of giving thanks to having Yerushalayim, it's like you're tearing something that's not there, but it's right in front of you. V'chein Pasker of Shlomo Gaon Zatzal, he quotes, of course, from Rav Shlomo Gaon. By the way, in the end of this sefer, he has a series of letters back and forth from Shlomo Gaon. We covered it on Shavuos a few years ago regarding certain technical and difficult questions that Israel faced. Rav Shlomo Gaon, who was the head rabbi of Tzahal, and he was the head rabbi from Tafshin Lamed Gimel to Tafshin Mem Gimel, and he quotes from Rav Avram Shapira, also the head rabbi, that we don't tear for Yerushalayim because it's under our control. However, that's only as far as Jerusalem is concerned. However, when one sees the Beis HaMikdash, the area, the Makom HaMikdash, so if you go to the Kotel and you haven't been there in a certain amount of time, then you certainly have to tear. We'll see more about the laws as we go forward. And certainly today, Sha'arvim v'azim es kudrashas harabayis v'nogam al-kevesh shalahem v'archam b'hafganosh sitna v'kenegdo v'ein yad Yisrael t'kifa mespi kenegdam ha'ores makam mikdash ha'charev tzarech l'kroa. He says certainly nowadays when the Arabs are in control of the Temple Mount, the Waqf, etc., and they do all sorts of horrible things and protests up there, then we certainly don't have control over it, so we are required to tear, perhaps even more so. He has an interesting note here from Tzvi Yehuda again, that perhaps even Makam HaMikdash depends on control. A whole machlokas here. It's not really any. It goes into the whole question about the Waqf. So if anyone wants to see it, please let me know. I'll get you this footnote. Really interesting. But practically speaking, that's what happens today: is that we tear Kriya only on Makam HaMikdash. We don't tear over Yerushalayim. We don't tear over Ari. In any event, I hope that everyone has a wonderful Shabbos ahead, peaceful and restful Shabbos. Continue davening Chayalei Tzva Haganah Yisrael for Shalom Chol P'tzuei Yisrael. Safe return of our hostages. Learning Le'il Nishmas. Saran Daniel Shem and Abdar Mashali. Hashem Yakam Domo. We'll see you here next time. God willing. Have a wonderful Shabbos.